Hello, YouTube. This is Jarl DM. I'm going to be running a game today, the first part of an ongoing campaign called Horns of Cerunnos. I have two groups, so if you're confused as to why these are different people, that's why. So, guys, you want to introduce yourselves? Start with Dan. Just yourself and your character, I guess.
Alright, hi, my name is Dan. I don't really have a channel, but today I will be playing the Halbjoten Eragast the Wall. He's a large half-frost giant, and he's a very kind of defense-minded person. He has a very large shield and a very large spear that he'll use to kind of beat back his opponents. And he's a Viking, and that's Eragast.
Cool. Chris?
Alright, I'm Chris. My channel is Drop Dice. I'll be playing Sirg Bastardborn. He's Harjoten, Paladin of Oath of Vengeance. He basically comes from a background where elves destroyed his village, and he is now a refugee amongst new friends, and an old friend as well, the other Harjoten. And he's looking to try and reclaim his land and take vengeance.
Perfect. Ian?
Hi, I'm Ian from Fantastic Dimensions. So I am playing Osvalder Hofdunsson. He is a bard of the Northlands, but he doesn't look like your typical bard. He has a soldier background. He's got a little flute stashed away in a pocket somewhere, but aside from that, you wouldn't see any instruments on him. He wears, hides for armor. He carries a shield, and he has a long sword strung over his back. He's got a couple hand axes at his sides, and he's a bit of a skald anyway. He uses his voice probably more so than instruments. So.
Perfect. Whitey?
Hi, Ian White. I'll be playing Tostig Sigmar Sen, a human Hutskal. Basically, that's it. We'll see more about him in the game.
Sweet. And Ryan?
Hey there, so I'm Ryan of Nerdarchy Infamy, and I'm playing Nock Runethief, a diviner wizard who has short, stumpy little legs, because though he is short in stature, he is still human, so he's a human midget.
Excellent. So, this is taking place in the world of Iskloft. It is a homebrew setting that I've created. Iskloft is the northernmost continent, and it is a place of bitter cold and hard people. So you, all of you, are standing outside in the early morning. It's pissing rain, and has been since you woke up, and has been since last night and the day before, and for weeks since. You stand kind of shoulder to shoulder with all these other warriors who are kind of squeezing to get closer to the front. There's like this really strong smell of like wet clothes, of like sword iron, and like mud all over the place. And above the roar of the rain, you can hear Jarl Dagmer. So he's actually standing on a platform. He's pacing back and forth, and he's wearing his long bearskin cloak. And he's pacing up and down. You see him. He's called Jarl Bloodeye because he has one eye that's red, bizarrely. He's pacing up and down and he says, "My brothers, I have won many great victories. You know this. You've been there with me, side by side. You have become rich from my victories. You have become respected." A bunch of people kind of grunt in agreement, and a couple of warriors like bump weapons against shields. He turns around and he says, "They say I'm descended from Odin. I don't know if that's true, but his eye must look upon me with favor. So it is that I have chosen our next target for raiding. Odin himself is ambitious, and he rewards those who take risks. And so our next raiding target is..." He stops for a second and he does a sort of wicked grin. "Gunnarsholm." And there's just like crickets from the assembled warriors. You all know that Gunnarsholm is one of the largest and best defended cities in all of Iskloft. It's got thick stone walls, which is really rare, and a single large bridge that leads into the city. It's on an island in the middle of the river Fimble, which is one of the widest rivers in the country. You know that it's also the seat of Lord Gunn, perhaps the most powerful man in all of Iskloft. He is a famous warrior. He's a general who's won like countless battles, and he probably commands more actual power than the king does.
So on the sly, underneath my cloak, I'm gonna kind of grab some runes and cast them to see how this augurs.
Okay.
Just like, I don't know.
Are you going to roll anything, or do you just want me to? You muted there.
I'll roll some dice. Let's see how this goes. Alright, it's showing a 17 on the die, so plus whatever.
Okay. So the auguries are vague, as they always are.
Of course.
But you don't see your doom in this raid. You think that you and your companions will probably get out okay. You won't die anyway.
Yeah, I'll look at the auguries for myself and the guy to the left or the right of me.
Right.
And you'll probably live, and you'll probably live. I don't know if everyone else will see their way home.
Yeah, it's definitely, you know immediately that this is like probably an impossible raid. So in the audience, at the front, the berserkers, they all cheer. So these are huge guys who are naked except for these bear skins, and they all just raise their weapons and they're like, oh, start howling. And a bunch of the more zealous followers also cheer and roar, and a lot of the warriors are just kind of nodding, but a lot of them are also shaking their heads and kind of putting their hands over their eyes, like, what have I gotten myself into?
Osvalder will start to call out. He says, "In the halls of Valhalla, wait with heroes, brothers that have died. Odin's table is where we will meet once more with the warriors of ancient time. Don't be sad, my sons. This is our destiny, to die in battle with sword in hand, to see the halls of Valhalla, where the brave can live forever." And do you want me to roll a performance to see if I can get a reaction?
No, absolutely not. That's awesome. Yeah, they all just start cheering. Rah! A bunch of the guys who were kind of shaking their heads, a little bit nervous, they kind of find their courage and they all start cheering like, Rah!
As an aside, was that Manowar lyrics?
No, it's a poem. I pulled up a whole list of different Viking poems and stuff up here.
Sweet.
So. It might have been made into a Manowar song though. I wouldn't know.
He says, the Jarl kind of puts his hands out for quiet. The plan is obviously of paramount importance. We'll attack on Samhain tomorrow night, as they will be deep in celebration. While they're distracted, we'll attack from 3 sides. 3 is a lucky number, so we have to attack from 3 sides.
They'll be drunk as well.
Certainly. And we will not. And there's a couple of like, and the berserkers all kind of laugh their asses off because they're going to be drunk no matter what. He says, "I will take 1/3 of our force and we will come by boat up the river. With ropes and ladders, we'll scale the walls and sneak inside. Once in there, we'll begin burning buildings to create some chaos. At the same time, the bulk of our force will attack the main gate, battering rams. And you'll smash through the gate and walk in. And then finally, the skin changers and they all start howling. Oh! They will swim across the river and scale the opposite wall. Where they'll enter the city and burn the Thunderwolf den."
Jarl Dagmer, I would like to volunteer to be with the infiltration group. I have some experience in such things when we took care of how was it called? Felguard.
Of course, Asvalda, your expertise is always welcome. He says, "It won't be easy, but the glory will be unlike any that has come before. We will be the army that conquered Gunnarsholm, the army that did the impossible. Odin will bless us, Tyr will guide us, and we shall have victory!" And the howling begins again. And he says, "Well, for tonight, let's feast." So music starts to play, and you guys can kind of enjoy yourselves for the evening. You're not leaving till tomorrow night. So if anything you'd like to do while you're just pissing around at this feast, you're more than welcome to.
Well, like, obviously, we're not going to be drunk during the battle, but we have to have a bit of a celebration tonight since tomorrow we all die. So yeah, I'll be like reciting poetry and drinking and just kind of fraternizing with the men, trying to raise spirits, and
Gotcha.
I'll also kind of be keeping an eye out for people who are maybe getting too drunk. And if any of them are on the infiltration group, I'll make a point of mentioning that to the Jarl.
Cool. The festivities are pretty nice. Samhain is like a pretty big festival. It's midwinter. It's actually Halloween. What's turned into Halloween. And you're celebrating it a day early, which is probably bad luck. But you can't really celebrate it tomorrow because that's when you're raiding. So there's a couple of rituals going on, a lot of sacrifices being made. And the night kind of passes without much incident. There's a couple of fights break out, but that's pretty standard. So the next morning, not as early as usual, everyone kind of wakes up groggy, has some breakfast, and you begin your mission. So you have all been selected for this infiltration group. You're all going to get on the longboats, and you're going to sail up the river and scale the wall. Well, the main force is going to march there. And so you set off without much further ado. You guys are going to have to row, especially the half-giants are going to have to row. Because you guys are very good at that sort of stuff, and the Jarl is not stupid. He uses what resources he has. So yeah, you guys have been very much pushed, the two Halbjoten have been pushed into rowing duty, which is not ideal because it is exhausting and you get to the battle and then you're knackered, but you've kind of been given no choice.
I start going over the odds and calculating them of the likelihood of success for this, and when I arrive at that number, I'll share it with the group.
You think
God damn it. Who invited C-3PO?
pretty slim chances of actually succeeding here. You know that first of all, Gunnarsholm is probably the best protected city apart from Kingsburg. You also know that it's home to Thunderwolf dens. Thunderwolves are gigantic wolves, and Lord Gunn breeds them. So that's another issue. You also know that he has some of the best forges in the country. It's basically a terrible idea, but Jarl Dagmer thinks he's been blessed by Odin, and so you all think he's been blessed by Odin, and so you're all going.
So we have about an Iskloft snowball's chance in the southern lands of this actually succeeding, but the augurs bode well for us at least. So more glory to those that survive, and I meekly raise my hand.
For a little man, you're quite melancholy.
Glory is in death and battle. Do not seek your own way out, child.
Glory is in death and battle, but I would take my glory in the arms of a woman and a warm bed any day over that. Maybe a fine mead.
So the rowing is fine for you guys. Like keeping pace with normal men is not a big issue for half giants. It's like well within your power and not actually stressful. It's a couple of hours before you get there, and you basically stop at a bend in the river. Quite a large hill. You can't see the city, but you know it's around the corner. And the Jarl says, "Okay, let's stop and rest. You're not going to attack till middle of the night, and it's probably evening now." You eventually see the army appear, or the army. It's probably about 2,000 men. Arrive on the hill as well, and they kind of march around to where you suspect the gate is. So boredom hits in quite a dramatic way. You've just been sitting here for a couple of hours and it's boring, and you guys know that's what war is like. You know, it's long stretches of boredom punctuated by intense bouts of chaos, and you're kind of getting ready. So night falls and you start to hear music coming from the city. Lots of music, lots of noise basically coming from the city. And
Quick
eventually,
question.
Yep.
Would it be unseasonable for a fog to roll in from the water in this sort of autumnal season?
Nope, not at all.
Okay. I'll make the others aware that I can do such a thing, and it will cover our approach to give us better odds.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. The Jarl is in favor, for sure.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt.
No, of course, no problem.
Sorry, Lloyd, quick cultural question. Are there any kind of stigma against like sorcery and things of that sort, or?
It depends on who's doing it, right? So if it's a seer, then it's fine.
And we know him to be a seer?
Yeah, you guys would know him to be. So
I thought he was a circus performer, sorry.
Other people who aren't seers, who don't see the future, who don't cast runes and stuff, that would be considered like witchcraft, and that's not okay. It's the same. It's exactly the same set of abilities, but it's just a different job, I guess. Eventually, you hear a horn sound, and that's the signal. So you guys start to row around the corner, and you see the city. You've probably never seen it before, although the half giants might have seen it. It's enormous. Like most of the towns that you guys would hang out in, firstly wouldn't have walls, and if they did, they would be made of wood. Most of the buildings would be made of wood. This place is entirely made of stone. The walls are huge, probably about 40 feet high, which is colossal. And the whole place is like lit up with lights, and you can hear music, and you see the one bridge, this long stone bridge that stretches across the river to the island, and you see the army on the other side with their torches lit, marching forwards.
Okay, so my spell has a range of 120 feet, so this fog cloud is going to roll in ahead of us, covering our approach.
Yeah, absolutely perfect.
Okay.
So yeah, you hear kind of chaos from the bridge anyway, and you guys slide silently through the water, completely covered by this fog cloud. So you actually reach the wall with no issue, thanks to this fog cloud. Nobody seems to notice anything. And once you reach the wall, ladders start to go propped up against it. Grappling hooks are swung up onto the wall, and people begin to climb. How do you want to do this? Do you want to go at the front? Do you want to wait till people get up there? What do you think the approach is?
I fight from the back, always.
Right.
Or the middle, as close to the middle as possible. Cover the rear, cover the front.
Definitely good to keep the seer protected.
Yeah.
He's not a warrior.
I'll protect the seer.
I'll protect the seer as well. Does it seem like we're coming up on the back side of the wall?
Yeah, so if the city is here, right, this is the island, the bridge is on this side, and you basically come around this side, around the back, where there's just wall and island, and you kind of come right up against the wall, and people are now pressing ladders and stuff up against the wall.
I'm actually pretty stealthy, so I'll say, Brother Tostig, come, let's go at the front.
To the front?
Just like the last
No,
time.
I mean, we'll take the
like
lead.
the last time we went in the front together, you got out and I was captured. I think caution is the word of the day today.
So as you're discussing, a couple of people start flying up the ladder, right? They're like running up, like an axe in their mouth, shield on their back, just like climbing up as quick as possible. And about halfway up, you see this one guy kind of at the top of the wall, just like stick his head out over it, just go, and he like scrambles, and he like picks up a horn. And
Do I have time to throw a hand axe?
Yes, you do.
All right.
I could firebolt him as well.
Let's see here.
So we get an opportunity to sling some stuff at him.
Yep.
Ah, son of a bitch. 10.
I'll just start scurrying up a ladder.
Okay. Timing's gonna do it.
So I hit AC 15.
Okay, that'll do it. Yeah.
There goes my hand axe. I gotta
All
find
right,
that
so-
thing. They don't make them that big usually.
It
So-
clatters against the battlement and just plop into the water.
So for my around my wrist, the runes glow, and then they congeal into a firebolt that launches at the guy, and that's going to be for 5 points at him.
Perfect. So he's like scrambling for this horn. He brings it up to his lips, and just out of nowhere, fire hits him in the head. He falls back out of view. And the guys on the ladder are like redoubling their efforts, trying to get up as quickly as possible. And then you hear from underneath the wall just a sort of, and then just as that happens, one of the guys gets over and there's a stabbing noise. You're not sure if anybody heard, because there's a lot of chaos going on the bridge, and it's kind of quiet around here. You don't see anyone else coming or whatever at the moment, anyway.
I'm waiting for the medium-sized people to scurry up those ladders before I attempt it myself.
I'll follow Oswald.
I'll take my oversized grappling hook and try to sling it up there and catch a wall.
Sure. Just gives just a flat d20 and see how it goes.
This was my joke earlier about how giants don't scale walls; they just pull them down. And
Yeah.
Chuck Norris joke remodified a little bit.
So I rolled a 13. I don't know if you want any
Yeah.
modifiers
No,
on
that's
it.
fine. That's totally fine. It's just above a 10, it's fine. So yeah, you managed to hook your grappling hook in there.
And I offer to hold it taut while our smaller warriors make the climb up before I go.
Okay, go ahead, guys, if you want to, or you can wait while the rest of the guys continue to climb up. There's like a bunch of longboats, a bunch of ladders and stuff. So there's probably about, I'd say, probably about 200 of you here in this small contingent.
Okay,
I've got a +5 athletics. Do you need to roll anything to get up that ladder, or is it cool?
Just in case, give me a roll. In case you roll horribly.
I was afraid you'd say that. Come on, Dice Stream.
Since I'm waiting, I'm going to go ahead and draw my bow and just
Sure.
kind of keep watch of the walls.
I got a 15.
I'll be like 2 men behind Osvaldo.
Grand. 15 is fine. You're able to scale up the ladder without much difficulty. You're climbing up, and you get about halfway up, and that's when the top of the ladder, these guys appear. They leap up, and they've got their bows drawn and ready, and they fire. So you can take a shot, Serg, if you like, as they appear, because you were ready.
Okay,
Okay.
that is a 10 again.
Okay, 10's not going to do it. So an arrow boing, skids off a battlement.
I love dice roller.
So who was climbing ladders? It's just
I
yourself.
was climbing a ladder.
Yeah.
And Tostig was behind me a little ways.
Tostig is two men further down the ladder than Osvaldo.
Okay, cool. So, alright, actually, I forgot I wasn't playing Nimbinera. I have to roll some dice. Okie dokie. So it's going to be 1 at Osvaldo. It's going to miss. 1 at Tostig. That's going to hit.
Just like old times, my friend.
Ooh, Jesus. So it's going to be 8 points of damage, Tostig.
That doesn't sound good.
No, definitely not.
Where do we mark this then?
Just keep a note of what you have.
I just had the sheet. Okay.
Yeah, you got your hit points there.
Yeah, we're not keeping it on the screen then for everyone to see.
No, you don't need to.
I am, but you don't have to.
So a bunch of other arrows go flying, and a couple of men fall off the ladders into the water below.
I look back at Cirque and make an obscene, I don't know, epithet towards half-giant, drunken half-giants that can't shoot straight.
Well, that's affected me badly. I'm gonna have to hop off, jump off, climb down, get down, because this arrow's just caught in my shoulder, and I can't lose my left arm to climb anymore. So I just have to drop down.
Cool.
And when you make it to the bottom, I'll kind of turn to you and I'll say, "The gods really have cursed you, haven't they, Tostig?"
The gods are bastards.
So continuing up the wall, a bunch of guys actually finally get through, and they hear kind of a racket at the top as an actual fight breaks out. There doesn't seem anything raining down now. If you want to try and Ian, you're able to get to the top not long after the rest.
Are the archers still there?
They are, yeah. So if you want to make some attacks.
Yeah. So when I finally get to the top, I can grab my longsword two-handed and swing at the guy that shot at Tostig.
Yep, sure thing.
That's going to be a 24.
Oh god, yeah.
So what's the damage? Let's see. Two-handed, that's a D10 plus 3. That's going to be 12 points of damage.
Oh, you murder him. Absolutely murder him. Go ahead and describe it.
So I just reach up with both hands, grab the longsword over my shoulder, and bring it down in an overhead chop. Goes right through his clavicle and gets embedded into his chest as he just kind of spits out blood and then falls off my blade. And I look at the next one and growl.
So they're definitely outmatched. These guys are not warriors necessarily. They're just guys who are on guard duty, and they weren't expecting this force to roll in out of nowhere. And so very quickly they're dispatched. There's only about 10 of them, and they're very quickly dispatched. And eventually the Jarl and everybody else starts to climb up. So if you guys want to get climbing, you can have to do that. The half giants are going to have to make you guys do rolls because you're enormous and heavy.
So I'll offer Serg my grappling hook rope first if he wants to. If he wants me to steady the rope for him.
If you want him to test the stability of your rope.
That is a 14.
That too.
14's fine. Yeah.
I'm looking over the wall kind of for Tostig to see if he's okay.
I'll stick 2 fingers up towards
I can patch you up, but not from up here. You're going to have to get your ass up here.
Bastards! I'll start climbing then. One-handed. I'll have to sheath my sword. And
Yeah.
Shield over my back. Slowly climb my way up.
Yeah, it's tricky, but you
Grumbling.
managed to get there eventually.
And swearing at the gods and the weather and the wall, the wood, splinters that are going in my fingers as I'm climbing up. Everything is just bastards.
So, how high is this wall?
The wall's about 40 feet.
Oh, you gods, 10 times my height.
Well, once Serg has made it up, I'll offer Nock to basically ride on my back as I climb the rope. I'll sling my shield over my back and put my spear away. And being as large as I am, I'll say, "Human child, you can ride on my back."
It's not the most dignified means of transport, but if I had to climb this wall by myself, I'd be cursing the damned gods, the damned Jarls, and every damn thing on creation. I'll take you up on that offer.
Come, come. And
I'm not a child. I was just born this way. Damn it. I kick snow at him.
and how tall is Nock?
I'm 4'10".
Okay, so you're 4'10", and I'm an inch shy of 12 feet tall. So I'll kind of pick you up and kind of position you on my back, so you can, with your little arms, grab onto the top of my shield or try
It's
to
like
put
a
your arms
piggyback
around
ride.
my neck. But yeah, whatever. And I'll try to climb up my own rope.
Go ahead and give me a roll. It's going to be athletics.
I'm gonna pray to Odin that his
Alright,
arms are as
so-
steady as he looks.
Uh-oh.
So I roll a 2 with athletics. Do I get racial advantage on that or no?
I don't remember. I think you might, because you're big, right? I think that's one of the things for the race.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So the
Yeah, we
5
have
would
advantage
actually
on
be a
athletics.
12.
Okay. 10 is luckily all you needed. So you're just about able to put. It's really difficult. You're like trying to pull yourself up, but eventually you get
Like,
to the
wow,
top.
this little guy's heavier than I thought.
Right.
My heart beats in my chest as I see the ground get further and further away. And when you're littler, it looks like so much more height.
The rope kind of starts to fray just as you get to the top, and it kind of just about to snap, and you grab the rock and pull yourself up. The city is before you, and it's mostly empty actually at this stage. You see a lot of action over the bridges, men all piled in there, but there's nothing stopping you from going down to the city. So the Jarl is with you, and he kind of points to a stairwell and runs in that direction.
As we crest the wall, I let a sigh as if I just climbed the fucking wall.
Whew, I am beat.
I retrieve
And
my
I'll,
great action state. Clearly, Uller is not with me today.
I'll take Knock off my back and set him between me and Serg, the two Hal Joltons, and then I'll re-equip my spear and shield and follow after.
Cool. Perfect.
Thanks for the lift, Aragast. Thank you for the lift.
We're meant
You're very
to be,
welcome, child.
We're meant to be setting some buildings alight now once we get into the city, are we not?
Yeah, exactly. You're trying to cause as much chaos as possible to
Firebolt, 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 firebolt.
yeah.
Just
I want to
all
look
the fast
for.
roofs.
Let me see here. What would be the biggest, like a building that would seem to have the most people in it? Preferably civilians, but you know.
Are the buildings
Meat hall?
stone as well, or are they wooden once we get past the walls?
Most of them are stone with thatch roofs.
Okay.
Most of them. Some of them are wood, but the majority of the larger buildings are made of stone.
Okay.
Which is actually like an incredibly impressive sight for you guys, because it's probably the first time you've been in a city that has stone buildings. Almost everywhere you go, or you have been at this stage in your inexperienced lives, most of the places you've been have had wooden buildings, thatch roofs, that kind of thing. This place has stone like everywhere, and it's like a marvel of engineering. You never see anything like it. But the Jarl anyway begins to run off down a stairwell and into the actual city itself.
Oh crap! I'm gonna have to follow him, being a skull.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, shield and
How
arm.
am I going to sing of his
Sort out.
glory if I don't witness it myself?
Exactly.
Yeah. Shrug off the paint, grit my teeth. Follow after.
Oh yeah, could I have taken a moment just to have done a quick little medicine thing on Tostig? It wouldn't have any mechanical bonus really. It's just like stopping bleeding and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure.
Moral
Basically,
support.
stop the pain a bit.
Yeah. I don't have any healing spells, but I'm a medic.
Yeah, no problem. Go ahead.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, cool. So I guess you like remove the arrow or whatever and kind of patch it up a little bit so it's not quite as painful.
Tostig, remember your oath not to die on me. This is very important.
Well, I didn't necessarily do a very good rush job of it because I rolled a 5.
Okay. Right.
You don't have tongue into the wound. What are you doing?
So yeah, you just pull the arrow out this way. It was like quite painful on the way out, but eventually then you just kind of like grab like a pocket full of herbs out of your pocket and just like jam them into the wound and like stick something on top of it so it doesn't get infected. So you just barely manage to stop the bleeding.
Don't be such a woman. It'll be fine.
Bastard.
So you guys run down the stairs, I assume. I'm gonna say that Nock, you're probably just flinging firebolts as you walk, right? Just like everywhere you can.
Yep, Nock's gonna have the Harl body squad over here.
Yeah.
I have to assert myself in what little ways I can. So firebolts willy-nilly, that's the way to do it.
Perfect. So you guys rush downstairs, and there's probably at this stage a little less than there were. A couple of people got knocked off ladders and stuff. There's probably still about 120 of you. So you lost a lot of men there. But the Jarl kind of runs down, and he's like, okay, you, over this way, you, this way, blah, blah, blah. And he gives everybody teams, goes and gets you guys to set fires. So you guys have been chosen as the team, and you're being sent to burn to assist the berserkers in burning down the Thunderwolf den, because that's like a really important building to get rid of. So
What did you call it? The Thunderwolf what?
den.
Oh shit, that sounds great.
So you guys are running in that direction to the city. It's dark, and it's relatively quiet. You can hear kind of the clamor of battle from the bridge, but you don't really see much going on around the place. Everybody give me a perception check, just real quick.
I'm
Not-
distracted by the fates.
Yeah, you're pretty sure there's nothing around and that you should start whistling.
10
Well,
is the magic number today for me.
I got a
honestly,
19.
I'm not sure what time stream I'm in right now is what's happening.
19, you said?
19. It looks like Dan got a 12.
12.
Okay, with the 19, you can hear shuffling footsteps approaching from just basically there's a building in front of you. From around the corner of that building, you can hear footsteps approaching.
I'll signal to everybody, shh, point there, and I'll move up around the corner. Now I've put the longsword back on my back, and now I've got a hand axe in each hand.
Okay. You see, kind of walking, carrying an enormous axe, is this naked man covered in tattoos. and he's wearing this bearskin. And his eyes are wide, totally wide, and he's actually kind of foaming at the mouth. And he's just kind of stalking through the streets.
Uh-huh. Is he one of ours? Do you know?
No, you don't recognize him.
I'll whisper to whoever's beside me. I guess it's probably Tostig. Say, Berserker.
Yeah, fucking lunatic.
Get ready. And then, how far away is he?
He's probably about 20 feet down the road.
20 feet's perfect. So I'll kind of come around the corner. I'll throw my 2 hand axes at him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will drop back and pull down my shield.
I will, after this point out that he's going, I'm going to try to cast some runes in front of him that will lull him to sleep, that will have a calming effect.
Nice.
So, how many dice is it for the sleep spell in this
I
edition?
think it's 5d8, I think.
5d8. Sure, I'll go with that. And I think there's no save, so it's just...
Just if
my
you get
roll.
hit points.
Yeah. I just need to meet his HP. Alright, so what's our total there? That's pretty good. It's looking good. I'm liking that. 16...
23?
24?
24? Oh yeah, 24. It's not going to do it. He kind of stifles a yawn, and for a second his eyes kind of go back to being normal, and then just snap back to being insane. He just...
Oh, did you just cast sleep, did you?
I did. I wanted to do it after you damaged him, but...
I was going to say, yeah, should have waited until I damaged him. But, yeah.
Yeah, you can go first.
You threw your axes, so that's.
Yeah.
I was waiting until after the throw.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine. We can do it that way.
Well, my first throw was a lousy 10.
Okay.
The second one was a 17.
Okay, 17 will do it.
And the 17 would have done 3 points of damage because I don't get to add my strength modifier on that since it was my offhand.
So the axe just kind of glances off his arm, shaves a bit of skin off.
And that 3 hit points was enough to make the sleep spell work, right?
Unfortunately not.
No, damn.
He's walking around with quite a bit more than 24 hit points.
I wince and say, I need myself better warriors.
So this
And
guy...
as you say that, I'll look down at you.
Okay, a
kind
better
of
warrior.
sees this wound and just kind of like puts his finger in it and just like...
I
starts to
retreat
sniff.
backwards after I see my spell not work.
Yeah, like I said, fucking idiots.
And he's
Sir,
going to
I think
charge,
they're
so
in need of us again.
it's going to
guess
be
it's my
initiative,
turn.
gentlemen.
Nice.
Okay.
All right, I got above a 10.
Speed hacks. What do you get? Okay.
All of 2.
I've got a 4 for my initiative.
I'm on 14.
I got 1 plus something. I'm supposed to be alert, but not today.
The sleep spell got you a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
That's an 8.
Aragas, what did you get? You got a 7, did you say?
I got a 2.
A 2, wow.
I'll just wait till everybody's done.
Cirque, what did you get?
14.
14. Okay, and I'm missing Tostig. You got a
8.
8, okay.
Yeah.
Atsvalder and Cirque, you got the same, so whoever wants to go first.
I'll defer to the half giant since
Okay.
I was, yeah.
Defense.
Okay.
So, Cirque, you're up.
All right. I will move in on the berserker.
You can reach him.
And your axe is small but nice. I shall have it as a trophy. Yeah, I didn't suck on that one. 24.
Yeah, they're both going to hit. His AC's a 12.
No, just the first one. Sorry, just the 18, so it was a total of 24.
Okay, yep, definitely a hit.
Let's see, 18, 22 points of damage.
Ooh, fuck. Goddamn half giant. Okay, very nice. Yeah, that hurt.
I do that nice upward swing of the great axe into his chest.
Mm-hmm. The big bloody streak just like, you cleave his lips in half, and he just like kind of laughs, This guy's clearly mental. You know that berserkers drink and do a very large amount, like a nearly fatal amount of hallucinogens before they go into battle. So he probably has no idea what's going on. They're almost impervious to pain most of the time when they're fighting. So he's just like laughing like a maniac, even though you've dealt him a near fatal wound in one go. Asphalder, you're next.
Okay, so I had taken a step back and pulled my shield down. So now I'll reach up and draw the long sword, having thrown both of my hand axes. And seeing how well Circa has just dealt a blow to him, I don't want to be outdone. I'll charge up alongside of him and make an attack.
Sure thing. So 12 is the number you need to hit.
Yeah. So I'm rolling a d8 now because I'm using it one-handed for damage. All right, that's a 16 to hit for 7 points of damage.
Very nice. Yeah, he's definitely in bad shape now. It's his turn next. Looking between the two of you, he thinks there's much more glory in fighting the big guy, so he's going to make 2 attacks.
I completely agree.
And he's going to make those attacks recklessly, so you'll all have advantage on your next turn. So first attack, okay, so it's going to be 14, probably going to miss.
That's going to miss.
And second attack, okay, 17, also going to miss, I think, right?
Actually, that'll hit.
Okay, cool. So he's gonna. Wow. Okay. So he's gonna do 4 points of damage to you. So he's just swinging this great axe, seemingly at random, just like crazy, like not focused at all. And so you're actually pretty able to jump out of the way, and even the one that does hit is kind of a glancing blow. So then, Tostig, you're next, and you have advantage on your attack.
Is there room for me to get in there with a quick stab?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, holding my shield close to my chest with my damaged arm, I'll just duck in and punch the sword straight through into his side. So that'll be attack roll.
Yeah, you roll twice to pick the better because he attacked recklessly, so you have advantage.
Does that work?
No, I can't see it. You roll twice and pick the better one.
Alright. Okay, so on this, my arm's playing up.
Okay, unfortunately, he's in his swirling sort of attack. He's too quick for you. Knock.
He is. I'll swear again.
I hazard around the battlefield as distant from him as I can get. My range on firebolt's pretty good, but I still call over. I called you a flea-bitten son of a bitch, but I think you'd probably take that as a compliment. And then my runes around my wrist light up, and the firebolt strikes an AC 16, which it sounded like that would hit.
Yep.
And then I will roll the damage, and he's going to take 7 from the firebolt.
Ouch.
So
Okay.
Hisses into him.
Very good. And then finally, we've got Aragast.
Is there room for me to get in there as well?
Yeah, it's quite a big street that you're on. You
All
can
right.
get in there, no problem.
So I'll move up to him, and taking my spear, I will slide it into the notch on my shield, and I'll try to jab it into him, making a Aegis attack.
Yep.
And that would be definitely a hit, a 25.
Definitely.
And that would do... $13 damage.
Okay, that's going to take him out. So go ahead and describe it.
So, seeing him distracted by the firebolt and all these other attacks, I'll kind of sidle up to the side, and I would think that he would see me being so huge, but he's distracted in his rage. I'll just skewer him straight through with my spear, and after I skewer him, I'll kind of shake him off the spear because he's gone all the way into my hand.
Yeah, he is looking stupidly down at it as you've stabbed him, and he kind of just like looks at you and snarls, and then coughs up a load of blood and continues to try and snarl and just falls eventually. Okay, excellent. So you're pretty close to the Thunderwolf den, and you actually see a fire coming from it. You know that your berserkers were sent there to set that place on fire, particularly because Thunderwolves are not good news. You can hear snarling and you can hear howling coming from that area.
So on a combat note, like my default action is always to put as many people and obstacles between me and anybody that could potentially harm me. If there's shit to crawl under, I'm looking to be next to that. Like if there's a wagon outdoors, gotcha. I don't have any mores about that.
So do you guys want to continue, or do you want to take a minute, or what do you want to do?
Can we see the Thunderwolf den from where we're at then?
Yeah, you can pretty much see it from here. It's starting to catch fire.
By all means, run into the burning building. It'll go well.
I'll sheathe my longsword and sling my shield back over my back, and I'll mage hand my hand axes back to me and put them back on my sides.
Yeah.
Quite the trick.
I learned something from the seers in the war, and I'll just kind of wink at the half man over there. And I'll say, a seer is much more useful than a clown in battle. I'm glad you're here.
And I didn't memorize that spell of laughter to oblige your humor.
Just then you see out of the burning building what is a completely ridiculous sight. This wolf comes out, but it's as big as a horse. It's probably about 6 foot at the shoulder. Huge black wolf, totally on fire, and on its back is a berserker that you recognize, Ragnar, and he is holding onto the fur of the wolf, and he is also on fire, and he is just howling at the sky, and they just like crash out of the building and through the streets. There's just howls all over the place, and they just run right in front of you guys and then away in the other direction.
He was one of ours.
He was one of yours, yeah.
By Odin's beard, that man will get himself killed. I'm going to go ahead and lay on hands and heal myself back to full while we got a second.
Yeah.
I'll firebolt the retreating form of the wolf if I can manage it to help out my compatriot.
Absolutely.
Because fire for everyone. All right. AC 22. So
absolutely.
I'm burning all the good rolls now, I'm sure. For a single point of damage, so I singe its tail.
Yeah. There's a little bit of a yelp.
Yeah. Thanks.
And then you see the rest of the berserkers. There was probably about 10 of them. You see 6 of them run out. One of them is on fire, and he's like patting himself down. And you see them run out, and they kind of stop, pull to a skid, and they kind of brace their weapons. And then you see 6 of these enormous wolves just like barreling out and towards them.
How far off in the distance are they?
Probably about 60 feet away from you.
Initiative time?
Yeah, absolutely. Or we can just use the same one, if that works for you guys.
Sure.
So then first would be Cirque.
I'm gonna hold off and wait for the others to see what they want to do. Are they pointing towards us, or are the soldiers facing towards the wolves?
The berserkers are facing the wolves. So basically, if you're in this street, right, and ahead of you there's this burning building on your left hand side, and out of that building have come running your berserkers that you recognize, and then charging at them are a bunch of wolves, huge wolves.
Okay, I misunderstood. I thought it was their berserkers. Yeah, I'm gonna provide some cover for the rune seer.
Cool. Okay, Aswalder, you're next.
I'm going to do something reckless and stupid. I'm going to cry out, Bloodeye! And I'll charge towards the wolves, shield down, and draw in my longsword.
Nice. You can have inspiration for that.
He's in the wrong profession. Should be a berserker.
Actually, rather than charging double speed, though, I'll move to 30 feet. Actually, can I cast a spell?
Uh-huh.
So I suppose I won't draw the longsword yet, but I'll still call out Bloodeye's name. walk forward, and I'm casting Heroism on myself.
Nice. What does that do? Does it make you immune to
Which,
fear? You don't know? Just sounds good. What's going on? Are you there again? Can't really hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Wow, that was some spell. Almost knocked me out of the whole conversation. So yeah, Heroism. I cast Heroism on myself. It gives me 3 temporary hit points at the beginning of each of my turns, and I'm immune to being frightened.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Okay, after that, it is the wolves, and they charge out and rush towards the berserkers, and they just like leap on them, and the berserkers are like wrestling them. Like you see one guy like holding a jaw open with his hand like struggling, and so they've basically just like leapt on top of them, and they're like wrestling now with the berserkers. Tostig, you're next.
I shall assist one of the berserkers then, running after Asvalda, and take an assist with an attack on a wolf.
Okay.
Okay. Rolling 10.
Yep,
Total.
that'll do it.
Cool. And then D8 plus 2, so that's... Yeah, 9 points.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, it's hard to miss these things. They're enormous. So you run forward and stab the sword in. Okay. Knock, you're next.
Okay, can I get... Are there 2 of these wolves within 5 feet of one another?
Yep.
Alright, so I begin uttering incantations. A green, eerie light and mist starts to flow from the runes on my wrist, and then swirl into my hands, and I blow it in the direction of the wolves. It goes over to one and then the other. They both make dex saves, and then acid starts to burn on their skin. So it's going to be a DC of 14 for the spell save.
Okay, one of them is going to make it, the other one's going to fail.
Okay, so only if it fails are they going to take the damage. So it's only a point. So a light burning of its fur.
Okay. Is it ongoing or anything, or it's just once off?
It's just a one-off. It's a cantrip.
Gotcha. Okay. And then Aragast.
And the wolves are still about 60 feet away fighting the berserkers, right?
Right.
Alright, so I'll just kind of move up about 35 feet, so I'm basically just in front of Asvald, and I'll kind of hold my shield at the ready, preparing to engage them.
Gotcha.
And I guess just taking the dodge action.
Sure.
So did I move too far then?
Yeah, I think you did. You couldn't have gotten there, but it's okay. We'll just... It's alright. Not a big deal. So, Cirque, see you again.
Okay. The closest wolf hasn't moved over to about 30 now? 'Cause it
No,
sounds
they're
like some of
basically
them
in the
moved
same
forward.
place. They're just like rolling around trying to fight each other, the berserkers and the wolves.
Yep. You're on your own, Runecaster, and I'll move forward. I'll double move to get up there.
Okay, no problem. Yep, you can do that. Then it's going to be Asvalder.
It's Osvalder.
Osvalder.
Assholder.
Osvalder.
Osvalder begins to chant. He says, I stand my watch with shield and spear. My brothers by my side. I peer into the darkened mist and wonder what they hide. I see their eyes, hear muffled growls, and see the bushes' moves. I pray they don't come upright and armed. I hope they're only wolves. And I'm going to grant bardic inspiration to Tostig. So that's a
Nice.
D6 Tustic that you can use once anytime in the next 10 minutes, I think. You can use it for an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw. So, and you can decide to do it after you roll your D20. So if you're not happy with your roll, but you think rolling an extra D6 might help you get over the hump, that's when you would use it.
Sweet.
Okay.
That's a bonus action.
So that's a bonus action. So then I'll step forward and attempt to drive this longsword into one of these wolves. So dice stream, D20, D8, roll.
Nice.
Yeah, that's going to be a 22 to hit, and it's going to do 6 damage.
Okay. Yep. So I'm going to say it's the same one that everyone else has been hitting because it's the closest one. And it kind of whimpers a little bit, and you see the berserker underneath with his hands in its jaw just begin to rip and throws it onto the ground. And it stays there. Okay, next is the wolves. The wolves are going to attack the berserkers, and the berserkers are going to attack the wolves. You notice one particular berserker, the most famous of them all, who is called Harold, and he is
Rudolph
just
the
enormous.
Red-Nosed Barbarian.
He is the most enormous wall of muscle, and you see him basically grab this huge wolf by the neck, and he lifts it and throws it off him and gets up, and then he runs over and jumps on top of it and starts punching. But they're basically wrestling and fighting. So at the while this is happening, the berserker that you guys had killed, he he coughs, and his arm twitches, and then he stands up.
No, we killed him already.
Apparently not. He starts to walk like a zombie almost, very slowly towards Nock. And then he kind of starts to gain speed as he begins moving. And you see he's in bits, but he obviously wasn't entirely dead, or he's regenerated his health somehow. And he runs forward, and he's going to make an attack on Nock. Just one lazy attack. Whoa, it's going to hit.
Oh, well, hey, I'm going to use my lucky.
Okay.
And this way I get to choose whose roll we get to use here. So I'm hoping I roll low. And I rolled a 7 plus his modifiers. Well,
obviously you're going to choose your roll, aren't you?
well, I'm questioning how. So I'm going to choose my roll, and then I will call up a shield because I've foreseen a fallen foe resurging somehow in my augury before. So
Okay.
I get a +4 to my AC, so it should deflect it.
Yep, it should. I think it will. What's your AC?
Oh, you know what? No, I'm going to just take it because I am out of spells. Out of personal spells. So, yeah, I rolled a 7 plus his modifier. My AC is a 12.
Oh, he hits exactly a 12.
Alright, I've foreseen a fallen foe arising, but unfortunately I couldn't avert my own fate.
Oh, fuck. 14.
14 points?
Yeah.
Alright, I drop like a little sack of shit. So.
And so does he immediately afterwards. He falls to his knees and he coughs up more blood. And parts start to fall out of him. And he kind of looks in the direction of the rest of them and kind of starts to pull himself along the ground in that direction. Tostig, you're next.
Were we aware of this?
That's a good question.
I would
go
have
ahead and give
called
me
it out for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure you're aware of it. Yeah.
I would have
Knock!
cried out in pain.
Knock! I shall turn and run. Run to
Yeah,
his.
this dude is pulling himself across the ground.
Okay.
You can
When I
see
get-
he's leaving a massive trail of blood behind him. He's clearly very nearly dead.
I'll run up, stamp in the middle of his back, and drive the sword through the back of his neck.
Yeah, you don't even have to roll. Splat!
Okay, so at least Toastic would know, and if I've traveled with any of you before, that I do carry a healer's kit on me, just in case.
So as you stab the sword through this guy's neck, he kind of goes limp, and then his arm twitches for a second. And you're like, "Oh God!" and then it stops.
I'll cut his arms and legs off.
You actually know that this is not uncommon. The rush of adrenaline and stuff would get people like that back up from when they seem dead.
He's dead now.
He certainly is.
It could have something to do with all the hallucinogenics too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, if you want to use that healer's kit, go ahead.
Yeah, if I've got time, I'll do that.
That's just, it's a free thing if you use a healer's kit, right? It just automatically stabilizes him.
Yeah, that's fine. So you can stabilize him. He's back to 1, I guess, right? Or 0.
Back to 0.
Yeah, I'm 0. I'm incapacitated for pretty much ever.
Okay, so then it's going to be Nock, you're incapacitated, and Aragast.
Alright, so seeing that Tostig saw to the child, and knowing that he's no longer at death's door, Aragast will rush forward and help Asvalder with the Thunderwolves. So he'll move forward, and again he'll line his spear up in his shield, and right through the notch, stab at them with a...
You just need a 10.
That will be a 20, so...
Wow, yeah, absolutely.
So that would be 10 damage.
Okay, yeah, another wolf basically goes down. Or goes limp enough for the berserker underneath to kind of wrestle it off. Then you kind of hear approaching footsteps, and your heart sinks, but then you realize it's your friends, and it's another squad of friends that you recognize, and they rush up, and together you're able to dispatch these wolves eventually. The berserkers are obviously in bits, but they're still going, also obviously. So fires have been set all over the place. The Jarl is there. He's with this group, and he kind of looks around at the destruction and at the dead berserker behind, and he kind of just nods. That's at a low, impressed whistle, like a pretty good. The wolf den is now totally on fire, and buildings all over the place are on fire. And the plan now is to regroup in the central courtyard of the city. Do you guys want to do anything while you have a minute?
I'll walk back to Nock and be like, "Is he dead?"
No, he lives still.
Then I'll help as
Barely.
much as Odin will allow. And I'll lay on hands for 1 healing point. That's the rest of my lay on hand.
Perfect.
Well, then if we have a short rest, I'm going to do Arcane Recovery.
You probably wouldn't have an hour.
Okay.
You'd
Thank
have
you
like
for that breath of life from Odin. Look up at Cirque.
So you guys kind of rush through the city, and you get to the central courtyard, and you kind of actually have a breather, while other troops start to rush in from different places. You see a bunch of guys appear from the main army, the almost 2,000 men who had rushed through the main entrance. About 200 of them arrive, and there's like this look on the Jarl's face. For a second, his kind of bravado just drops for a second, and he's like, "Is that all?" And he's like, "Oh, no matter, Odin is with us." And he's like knackered, everyone's knackered, they're just breathing really heavily. And you're in the central courtyard. And the huge building on the other side of the courtyard is obviously where Lord Gunn resides. But there's nobody around at the moment, and so healers start going around and like helping people out, and Nock, you're going to gain back 5 hit points as somebody comes over and does a little bit of healing on you.
My thanks to you, brother.
So you guys have a little moment, and the Jarl definitely looks uncomfortable. This obviously didn't go to plan. He expected much more people to come from the front, and you see him kind of talking very intensely with one of the Huskarls, asking what the fuck happened. And then this, on the other side of the courtyard, about 100 feet away, had this wolf, this huge thunder wolf, and on its back is a man in black, looks like iron plates. And he rides to the side of the courtyard and just kind of rests there on the back of this wolf and looks across at your force. And you have probably about 300 people. And he looks and he kind of chuckles. A ballsy move, Dagmer! A ballsy move indeed! I'm really going to have a conversation with myself here.
Yes, you are. I say, Jarl, give the order to attack. We've
and
committed.
the Jarl is kind of like terrified. He's like, yes, go, attack!
So, how
Just
far
one.
away is this guy in the wolf?
About 100 feet away. He's across the other side of the courtyard.
I'll start running ahead with the men. Hopefully they're following.
I can firebolt him from right here.
Yep, go for it.
I'll follow suit.
I'm doing basically the double move, so I'll go 60 feet closer to him.
Oh, I critted him.
Nice. Very nice. That'll
Double
hit.
damage.
All right. Come on. Yes, 15 points.
Wow, very nice. So, whizzing past the ear of Aragast, firebolt just like rushes past and hits this guy right in the face, pretty much.
Yeah, it was burning white and blue like the hottest that the fire could burn, and then seared into his armor and like melted it just in a little spot.
Yeah, he actually let out a grunt, kind of puts out the fire.
And then I stepped behind one of the half Jotuns.
I don't know that there's going to be a half Jotun left. What's his distance to us? You said 100?
100 feet.
Right, 100 feet.
Okay, yeah, I'll double move too.
Surely there'll be a half Jotun.
So basically, all the guys, including the Jarl, are rushing forward across this courtyard, and the other guy on the wolf, he says, "Jarl Dagmer Bloodeye, I am Jarl Gunnar Gunnarsholm, called Lord Gunn. You've entered my domain. With the murder making your heart, you have come to cut threads. I invoke the right to challenge." And all the soldiers just like kind of skid to a halt, and the Jarl like keeps running for a second, then he also skids to a halt, and he just looks around at everybody. And you see this force come around behind this other guy. Lots more guys on wolves in similarly heavy armor. And even though you definitely have the right number, you reckon that it's not a good call here.
So is there any sort of loophole I can think of? I have knowledge history and an 18 intelligence.
Yeah, go for it. Give a roll and see if you can think of something.
All right, sure. And I could use my all right. So let me see if I like that or if I want to burn one of my luck points on that. All right. So my knowledge is a +8. All right, that's gonna be a hit a. You know what? I'm gonna roll because I get to choose the better. So why not 12 or a? Yeah. Okay. So that's DC 20 knowledge check.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. You do think of a loophole. It's very complicated and very, very boring and very legal. But there are stipulations on how the right to challenge can happen, and seemingly in this very specific situation, you find a way to get out of it. And you kind of whisper this to the Jarl, I guess, right?
Yeah. I call it out exactly. Maybe with a few expletives here and there sprinkled in. Yeah.
So there's this like weird silence where all these guys who are like on the brink of murder, on both sides, they all just stop and they listen and they're like, "Oh, what? Fuck."
But he gets another shot.
And so Lord Gunn kind of just sits there and he's like, I hadn't thought of that. Huh. Very well.
So does this mean we're not killing the guy?
Well, what was going to happen was that...
I'm looking confused because it was a right of challenge. That would have been an honor thing.
I was going to say, should it happen, it would be an honor thing between the two of them, and they'd go in unarmored with shields and sword or shield and axe.
But now it seems to be off, yeah?
That's now been cancelled, so you can go back to the charge, I guess.
It wouldn't have went well for our guy, I was thinking.
Definitely not.
No, Odin has abandoned him. I've seen the fear in his heart.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it initiative or are we still on the same initiative?
Yeah,
say,
go for it.
Does he give the swift nod of justice to us to let us unleash our fury?
Yep.
All
So
right.
your guy definitely is very pleased with this turn of events. He knew there was no chance he was going to win that, So Lord Gunnar and the wolf just kind of inclines his head, and his guys rush forward, and you guys rush forward. So let's do initiative.
Okay. 13.
18.
Okay.
15.
Oh,
Totsig?
yes. A 1 or a 7. Get it. No,
7?
7 isn't it? So 14.
Okay. Okay, and 13.
You got us in chat, right? They put that.
Yep, I got it.
Okay.
Okay, Sirk, you're first again.
Okay. I am going to use my unstoppable charge, and I'm going to charge the wolf. I'm going to dismount him. At least that's the plan. Probably not. Let's see here. That comes to a total of 12.
You can hit the wolf.
All right, that's where I'm intending to go.
In
Cool.
Soviet Russia, Mount Disu.
That's 9, 13, plus 5, so 18 damage to the wolf.
Wow, nice. And this is the Jarl's wolf?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. Right, I'm going to make him do a check to stay on. See how this goes for him. Oh, yeah, so I'm going to say you just, like, remove...
In the mud.
Yeah, you remove a leg or something, and this guy just goes, like, smack onto the ground in his big, heavy armor. He looks like a turtle trying to get up. So, excellent, good work. After Sirk, it's Oswalder.
Are you sure I was on 13?
Oh, sorry, no. I just have the order wrong here. So,
So we have the two 15s. I have a +2
yeah.
mod.
I have no mod.
okay, so go ahead, Knock.
Okay. So is the guy still mounted, or was he dismounted now?
He was dismounted.
Are they within 5 feet of one another?
The wolf and the guy?
Yeah, the guy. Yes.
Yep.
Okay, cool. They can both make their dex saves then.
Is it everything within 5 feet, or just...
Just, I can only hit up to 2 targets with this
Okay.
cantrip, and if they save, it's no damage.
Gotcha. I think they both saved, yeah.
Alright.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh,
so,
that reminds me. There needs to be a save for that charge thing.
You're right, yeah.
It's going to be 12 would be the DC for them to get knocked back 5 feet additionally.
The wolf fails it, so not only do you like knock it over, you also knock it back, and the Jarl falls with a clang of metal onto the ground. Okay, Aragast, you're next.
And I also moved to interpost as many fighting men between me and potential enemies after that.
All right. I'll move up towards the fallen Jarl, and again with my spear and my shield, I'll try to put it in the notch and then stab him into the ground.
Mm-hmm. So he's on the
And-
ground, he's prone, you have advantage.
Prone. Okay. Good one is a 23.
That'll hit.
And let's see, 7, 12, 17 damage.
Nice.
And when I get it in there, I think to some extent I want to just kind of hold the spear in the ground, kind of almost pinning him.
Gotcha. Very nice. Tostig, you're next.
Okay, as these wolf and riders charge in, I'll shout shield wall to the men around me. We'll lock shields.
Excellent. Yeah. So as soon as somebody calls for it, it's just like muscle memory, and everyone just goes straight to it. That was a very good idea. Oswalder.
Oswalder runs up to the Jarl, who's now kind of skewered on the ground at the moment.
Yeah.
Jarl Gun, or Lord Gun, whatever his name is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to shout out, "In the name of Thor!" and cast Thunder Wave.
Very nice.
So I think it's just a saving throw for him.
And everyone in that cube, which I think is also Aragast and Cirque and the wolf. And
If they're standing past him, they are. If they're standing before him, then they're not.
I think it's a cube, though, right?
Yeah, but you choose the point of origin.
Okay, but Aragast is like pinning him to the ground, so I feel like he can't.
Okay, that's
possibly...
fine.
Yeah, I think there's no way I'm.
He's a Halbjoten anyway, so I don't care.
Yeah, it's a con save, so you should be okay. Okay, do you make disadvantage with saves when you're on the ground? I don't think so.
Maybe if it was a deck save or something, I don't know.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't think so.
It's a con save, right? So.
I don't think there's anything for it.
It's actually a strength save, by the way.
Okay, well he crit it.
It's a strength throw. It's a strength save. Sorry, not to be pushed.
It's a con save for the damage, though, right?
There's no save for the damage.
With Thunderwolf.
Nope, it's just 2d6 damage.
Shit.
Oh, well, no, you take...
I thought there was a save for the damage.
Yeah, the first time you... Oh, I'm looking at the wrong spell. God damn it, hold on. On a
Yours.
failed save, the creature takes 2d8 thunder damage and is pushed 10 feet away from you. On a successful save, he takes half damage. You're right, sorry.
So what's the save?
And it is a con save, not a strength save.
Okay.
We're just gonna push him around.
That's like a thunderous smite, so thunder wave. So the damage would have been 8, so...
Okay, so he'll take 4.
So I got a 10 on my con save.
Oh, then you failed then. You take 8 points and you're pushed 10 feet back.
Excellent. Into the waiting forces.
Oh, you speak of clowns. That was pretty humorous there, Asvalder.
So after that, it's going to be Jarl himself. He is going to try and stand up. I'm going to make this like an opposed athletics roll, I guess. Because you're trying to pin him to the ground with your spear.
Well, I just pushed him. Sorry, not to play on.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay.
So he's probably
So
not
he's no
moving down
longer
anymore.
pinned.
Yeah, he's going to just stand up then. And seeing the entire state of the place around him, picking what he assumes is the most dangerous target, he's going to swing for Cirque.
Yeah.
So that attack's going to miss.
Huge. That's what I get.
Second attack, that's going to hit.
Yep.
Okay, so it's going to be 2 plus 4, 6 points of damage.
Okay. I look pretty bloody.
I always forget with like first level characters how much 4 points of or 6 points of damage is. You know, it like it seems so because like the other game that I played the most is the Githyanki game where like that's not even noticeable. You know.
Yeah.
I'm very bloody too.
Okay. Also, on this initiative, your Jarl runs forward and he begins kind of swirling into their guys, and he fights his 2 weapons. He's like swinging around the place, and he's definitely wrecking some faces. And the wolves charge the shield wall, smack, and there's just like this heavy sort of push, where the people in the back are like pushing the guys in front forward, trying to hold the wall in place as like these wolves, this cavalry charge basically just smashes into the front. Yeah, like that. If that shield wall hadn't have been there, that would have been devastating to everybody. So that was such a great idea. You can have inspiration for that. So yes, it's just like this push, just like throng of just like people just pushing as hard as they can. All right. Cirque, it's your turn again.
Okay. I'm going to go in for an attack, and I'm going to use my inspiration.
Yes, sir.
So. God. What a waste. 13.
That's going to miss. Going to bounce off his armor.
Yeah. He got played.
Potentially the first time you've seen this kind of armor as well. The fanciest armor you guys would be aware of would be something like, steel chainmail. This seems to be just like
the chainmail I'm wearing is probably
Right.
the best that I've seen ever.
Yeah. So this is like just all these plates of metal all over his body, like totally protecting him. You're like, how expensive is that? But yeah, so he's gonna be okay there. Knock, you're next.
Okay, seeing as the the acid splash spell has been so ineffectual to date against him and the wolf, but the firebolt has been rocking socks. I'm gonna take a chance with that and see what happens. Oh, all right, so I critted again. I don't know how the hell that happened. Let's see.
Nice.
And let me roll 2d10. Holy shit! So that's 11 points to him.
Very nice.
That's 13 points.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, 13. Can you all see that? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
two 20s on this fucking guy. The runes must hate this man.
yeah, I guess when it counts, Knock is there.
He is kind of a bastard, right? So.
Well, I mean, it's all relative, I guess. You're also kind of you're the army who just walked in here in the middle of the night to try and murder people.
I was gonna say, in our background, Knock left me for dead, so it makes sense that he's actually a potent caster.
Yeah.
I didn't know that detail.
Aragast, you're next.
Alright, so having been thrown 10 feet away from him and back towards the opposing army,
Yeah.
I'm going to try to move back to our side of the force, and when I get back around over there, I'm going to kind of like nudge Welder with my shoulder a little bit, and then after I kind of shoulder check him a little bit,
Yeah.
again with my shield, I'm going to put it into position and stab or attempt to stab him with my spear.
Okay, go for it.
Gunnarsholm, not Welder. And that would be a 25.
Oh yeah.
And that would be 20 damage.
Sorry, what was that?
20 damage.
20. Wow, very nice. These half giants, they don't mess around. Okay, Tostig. You're in the shield wall.
Yep, so pushing and striking, push and strike.
Yep.
Working our way ever slowly forwards across the courtyard. Taking out men who've fallen off the mounts after the charge. So just striking and pushing and striking. So here we go. So try and get one guy. Yep, that looks like
Oh yeah, 19.
22. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so in this chaos, you managed to you have a sword, don't you?
Yeah, it's a lovely thing. Long sword, beautiful,
Perfect.
finely made.
Yeah, so you managed to. Somebody next to you basically hooks the shield down with an axe, and you stab in, and you knock a guy off a wolf. So I mean, that's what it's like. Everyone is fighting the people in front of them, and the people next to them, and the people next to them as well. It's just total chaos, you know. But you're experienced in the shield wall, so you know what it's like. And you, as soon as you saw that opening, you were just like, wham, straight in.
Yeah.
Okay, Asswelder.
Man, fuck you guys. I'm going home.
This is like any D&D game. That you make fun of somebody's like somebody had a character named Ted had Gaelic Elquinge. Gaelic.
Okay. Let's see.
Oswalder.
Oswalder is all out of spells. Oswalder is just going to, I think, just attack the Jarl. Yeah, I don't have. Yeah, no, I'll just go for another attack on the Jarl here. One-handed with the sword. There we go. That's 23 to hit.
Yes, sir.
For 10 damage.
Very nice. He's, by the way, looking totally fine. Like the heavy hits look like grazing blows. He doesn't seem to be any sort of danger here at all. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, it's actually his turn. So having
put like 80 points of damage on this guy.
Yeah. You put quite a bit on him, but he seems to be just grand. He kind of looks around, having regained his footing and taken a few hits, but he's starting to block them with his shield and stuff like that. He looks around for your Jarl. He sees him, and he basically just pushes his way past you guys. So, who's engaged with him? I think almost everyone except for Tostig. Yeah. So the two half giants and Aswalder.
And Knock's far away from him, so.
Knock is far away, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys can
Yeah, my
only-
spells. And I often use that 120 feet as much as I can.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Firebolt has a 120 foot range, I believe, so I try to stay at range most of the time.
Sure. So then, the Halbjotun and Asvalder, you're allowed to make an opportunity attack as he just walks past you.
9.
Alright, so that was 16 for me.
Okay, that's gonna miss both of those.
And I get to make one too?
Yep.
Well, shit. Come on, dice. No. 7.
All right, so you guys are trying to like swing for him. You're like, no, protect the Jarl, and he just kind of like walks past you guys. He actually grabs you by the face, Oswalder, and pushes you out of the way. And he walks with utter disdain towards your Jarl, and he walks over and he just unloads this ridiculous combination of moves just out of nowhere. This energy that you hadn't seen before. You're just like swings around like a crazy person, and lands a pretty telling blow right in the side of your Jarl. Stabs him deep with this sword. Pulls it out, kicks the body to the ground. He looks around at the remaining forces and just kind of shrugs. He knows what's going to happen here. He knows it's in control. So then, Cirque, it's your turn again.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna move in to go after him.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. 15.
Okay, it's going to bounce off his armor once again. Knock. Another crit.
Let's see what happens. Let's roll some dice. Let's see. Alright. Alright, that's an 18 on the die. So it's doing a hit. So I just singe his armor. He feels a heat for 3 points of damage, and then I strategically move myself between some meaty slabs of human flesh.
Gotcha. No problem.
Or Jotun, I don't discriminate.
Argast.
So seeing him so brutally attack our Jarl, I'll kind of put away my shield and spear and pull out my heavy weapon, my great spear, and I will yell, "You'll die for that, Gun!" And I'll charge up behind him doing my unstoppable charge. And since it has reach, once he gets within the 10 feet, I'll try to stab him from behind.
Okay, no problem. Go for it.
And that will surely miss, because again, that's a 16.
That's going to miss, yeah. So you're charging, and he just moves slightly out of the way. You do kill a different guy who's right behind him. You just run this poor guy through. Spear goes right through. You lift him up into the air, and he goes flying back. But the Jarl was able to step out of the way. Tustig.
Okay, looks like our Jarl's in trouble, so I'll give the command, protect the Jarl!
So,
Break the shield wall, protect the Jarl!
with a grunt, like a "Hurrah!" The shield wall begins to push.
You guys like turtle walk your way over there and like scoop him in.
Absolutely, yeah, that's exactly what happens. You guys kind of push, slowly pushing. There's actually more of you than there are of them. So once the charge actually stopped, you guys were definitely had the upper hand. You start to push your way through and get close enough to the Jarl.
Good, reform around it.
Aswalder.
Yeah, just going to still try to focus on Jarl Gun.
Okay.
The way I see it, you have to cut the head off the snake.
Yep.
Okay. Wish me luck.
Look.
Dice seems very slow. Okay, well that's 20 to hit. Or did 4 damage.
20 to hit's good. 4 damage. Okay. So you kind of catch a chink in his armor, and he kind of grunts, turns around to look in your direction, and it's his turn. So he's going to attack you. Once and twice and thrice. No, he's not. He's going to attack you once, just in case. Okay. What is your AC?
He missed?
I think he missed. Yeah, I think so. What's your AC?
I can't see your dice or anything, so I'm 16.
Oh, he missed. Okay. Second attack. Okay, that's a 16.
So that will hit.
Yep, that'll do 7 points.
Ouch.
And he will final strike you. 14, he misses.
So I'm staggered a little bit, but I'm still trying to keep my feet and raise my shield back up.
At the end, he kind of shouts, "Your Jarl has fallen! You will all fall! Reinforcements are coming! Surrender! Serve me and live!"
A Viking doesn't surrender. I'll spit in his face.
Excellent.
I'll say, Bloodeye is a coward. I'm the Jarl here now.
Why would we surrender to a dead man?
He just kind of grunts, shakes his head at the waste of human life. And the bad guys go, they kind of rush forward and they fight some of your guys in the shield wall, and a couple people fall. There's still more of you, but their warriors are definitely better equipped and better trained. Cirque, it's your turn again.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going in for him. And 13.
No dice.
Dice string does not love me.
The one positive is that level 1 combat is super quick. Everyone's got one attack. Knock.
I'm debating the wisdom of his offer, weighing it back and forth.
Actually, give a wisdom check there.
It'd be, wisdom is what you're requiring? Alright. It's not my wheelhouse, but let's see what happens. Alright.
I associate wisdom with Copan, kind of, you know.
What's that?
I associate wisdom with, like, common sense.
Yeah, it's still not my wheelhouse. I rolled a 9 on the die, no modifier, so that is solidly a 9.
Alright, looking around, you can still figure out that this is not going to go your way, you think. The guys, although they're outnumbered, that he has are, like, all heavily armored, better trained, and once you get into the actual grit of the fighting, they're definitely better equipped, and they'll definitely, or you think anyway, there's a very good chance that they'll end up beating you guys.
Alright, well, with that analysis, to carry on this fight would be to throw your life away foolishly and needlessly. I yield. I get down on my little knees. I'm not that much shorter than I was standing, but I fully submit my yielding.
Okay. Aragast.
And Aragast will have this nagging feeling at the back of his brain that it is a losing fight and that he should yield, but he'll have this stubbornness that this man, he didn't kill Jarl Dagmer, did he? He just kind of
He landed
brutally...
what appears to be like a potentially fatal wound. He's not dead, but it's definitely quite a bad wound.
So he'll have some stubbornness and, I guess, heroics in him that doesn't want to give up the fight just yet. And with that reach he has, he'll kind of take another step back and try to jam his spear down into him.
Okay, go for it.
His great spear. And that's a natural 20, so a 27.
Shit, nice.
And normally I would roll d6, so that'll be 8d6.
The fireball.
Hey,
Jesus
you're
Christ.
a giant using a great weapon. You get to add an extra damage die, too.
Yes, you do. So it'll be 10.
Oh, that's right. So, 10, you say?
Yep.
Alright, so it'll be 10 plus 5. And so we're dealing 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 31, 42, 44 damage.
Wow, nice. Yeah, he feels
So, I take this spear, great spear, and I'm like, are you ready to die? And I just kind of, from an angle, jab it down into his body.
Yeah, it crumples through the armor, and it doesn't go all the way in, but it does. The blade goes all the way in, certainly. And he lets out this cough. He falls to one knee. He's still alive, but he falls to one knee, definitely. And he just says, "Help!" And a bunch of guys who are around kind of look in that direction, like, "Oh shit!" So you got their attention. Holy shit, Tostig.
Yeah, I had no intentions of surrendering. We're defending my current Jarl, so as long as he lives, he's my master. So
Okay.
we'll just keep fighting. Keep fighting! Whoever's around.
Yep. You can just basically narrate murdering somebody if you like.
Yeah, if they're still attacking us, although it sounds like things might be trying to settle down if the Jarl's trying to persuade us to surrender. But we're just standing steadfast, ready for any action.
Cool. Oswalder.
All right. So he's down on one knee. He's not prone though, right? He's just.
Yeah, he's not prone. He's basically got the spear in him, right? The spear went through his plate, and it's now like embedded in his side.
Okay. Attacking with my longsword. It's a 16.
That's actually going to miss. So you go to swing. He actually weakly brings his shield up and blocks it. And on his turn,
I would like to use my advantage.
yes, go for it.
That'd be a 21.
Yep, that'll do it.
Okay. So it's 9 points damage.
Very nice. So
I'll say to him, there's still time for you to yield, gun.
he looks and he snarls. And
You and your men can leave this place.
This is my city.
Not anymore.
You see his armor start to crack. His mouth elongate. He begins to grow in size. Hair all over his body.
Oh shit.
Rips the spear out. Stands tall, now probably about 10 feet tall, and lets out this ridiculous howl. He says, "Surrender!" Nothing? Okay.
No, I'll die first.
Okay. He's going to attack Aragast 3 times.
So is he like pushing himself up into my spear to get into reach?
He was able to pull it out while transforming. The armor has fallen off him entirely. He like broke through it, and it's like lying in. Yeah, it's lying in ruins all over the floor. And he's going to swing for you. Boom, and he misses, and he's going to swing again. Pow, and that probably hits. Yeah, that's going to hit. So he's a super werewolf. All right, that's going to be 5 points.
All right, and with the thunder damage I took earlier, that 5 points takes me down.
Okay, so he swings, or he actually backhands with one of his claws, and you fall to the ground. He swings for Oswalder next. I think it's going to miss. 17.
Oh, that's going to hit.
Okay, 7.
I'm down.
Knocks you back as well, and then just howls at the sky. Oh! Okay, for the sake of expediency, since we're nearly out of time, what's going to happen is he's going to ask you guys to surrender again. Their guys are going to start wandering in from all sides, and reinforcements start to appear. It's looking pretty hopeless at this stage. If you guys want to keep fighting, you absolutely can. Nock and Tostig and Cirque. Is that what you would do?
I've already
Nock
made
has surrendered.
clear from the ground that I am like groveling.
Shit. Huh.
Like,
Surrender.
whatever you think your guy would do, then do that.
Surrender. Lower the
What
shield.
promise of
Lower the
what
shield.
promise of my life do you offer me?
So he is kind of beyond speech at this stage. He's like, but one of his, what would you call it?
Translator?
Yeah, lieutenant.
House Carls or something?
Yeah, House Carl comes forward and he gives terms. Says you will recount your oath to Jarl Dagmer. You will swear an oath to Jarl Gunnarsholm, and when he recovers from his condition, we will speak about the mission that you were to undertake. And you see that there's like 5 or 6 Huskarls like holding the Jarl, trying to contain him.
Well,
yeah,
those
I'll go ahead
terms
and
seem
drop my
enough to
axe.
preserve our lives, gentlemen.
A lot of the guys who are with you have run away. Like they're running through the city. Some of them are trying to run back towards the wall and climb their way out or whatever. But quite a few of them have dropped their weapons and are kneeling. Okay, so after that, you guys surrender. Those of you who are knocked unconscious are brought, or wake up the next day, and you are brought before Jarl Gunn. And he looks to be in a very bad state. He's bruised all over. He's like eyes are sunken. He's wearing just like a sort of thin robe. He looks old and like withered, and he was like so vital and powerful yesterday. And he says to you that you did particularly well in the battle. And so I have a proposition for you. There's a castle far in the north, Tiernaborg it's called. It's an old Jotun castle from centuries ago. Once it was a great fortress and service of the king, but today it sits unused. You will go, and you will get it for me. We will reclaim it in my name, and if you can do that, I might just put you in charge of it. I might.
As you command, I guess.
He says, I know when the gods put their pawns in front of me, you are not ordinary warriors. Before you arrived, I saw a raven land on my shoulder. It's a message from Odin. I know this. You're fated for great things. I have learned that when the gods want something, it's best to play along. Now go.
Odin, maybe.
He says, go, drink, rest. You'll need it. So you're basically kicked out of this this fancy house, but you are welcome to stay in the city, and that's where we're going to have to leave it.
Cool.
Right, awesome. Yeah, sorry guys for trying to play it, because I'm sure I cut into the playing time a little bit.
Not a problem.
As that goes.
All good. It would have just been like another 10 minutes of fighting, effectively.
People get dropped.
Right, exactly, yeah. It was basically you surrender, you get smacked until you surrender.
Because somebody posted on Facebook about unwinnable encounters. Like,
Yeah, I don't know who that was. But...
Yeah. If anybody else wants that.
Okay, well, I hope you had a good time. Just plug everything.
Definitely.
Check out Nerdarchy, check out Fantastic Dimensions, check out Drop Dice, and the other two guys don't have channels, but also check them out, they're great dudes. And I'm Jarl DM, thank you for watching.